That's a bit close, isn't it?
I don't think, no, because if we sat, but I can't sit back, I might sit forward.
That's right. Hello and welcome to episode 2 of our Open Conversation series. Today we're going to be talking about something that we will all be able to relate to, which is jealousy. First of all, I would like to hear your thoughts on your past experiences with jealousy. You used to be a jealous person?
I think very much so. I think everyone is jealous at some stage. I think there's certain levels to jealousy, 100%. Yeah. I used to be, and I'm sure a lot of females especially, I say especially actually, that's kind of sexist, can relate to their male partners entertaining things like...
Good place to have this conversation in the pub. Actually, that is...
entertaining things like porn and half-naked women on Instagram and Instagram models. Sorry. And things like that. In the past, I used to get obviously really mad. I used to dictate what was acceptable to entertain and what was not. I mean, I was wrong. But I think jealousy is such highly driven by emotion. Obviously, it is an emotion. I think the expression that jealousy is unattractive is so blank, but it's so true.
Yeah, like for me, a few years ago, I did used to be quite a jealous person. There was times when, for instance, someone that I was either speaking to or in a relationship with, if they posted a picture and even if there was like a little bit of cleavage on show, straight away that would trigger like feelings of insecurity in me, and I would be that bloke that would look through everyone that's liked the photo, go straight onto their profile, see if like the person who I was speaking to or partner or whatever had liked any of their photos, and it only come from a place of insecurity, because I used to think that one, why are they putting them sort of pictures up, like whose attention are they trying to get, but also it was fear of them looking for someone else and me not being enough. That's where it come from. But there was times when I would just cause arguments because I would feel insecure about something that I was blaming them for, and it was never ever their fault. And I think until you get to a point where you begin to understand where this jealousy stems from, you're always going to be blaming the other person.
So I think jealousy is driven by insecurity or insecurities.
Yeah.
Because how else would you explain jealousy? How would you ever explain where jealousy stems from?
I think as humans, like, we've all got every single emotion in us. Like, we've all got the potential to be jealous, but it's understanding where that comes from and not using your emotion to blame someone else, because it's always your issue that you need to deal with. But I think jealousy, because it's so driven by emotion, you'll put that on someone else because it feels so uncomfortable. So it's easy to just push it onto them and say, you've made me feel like this, you shouldn't be doing this, you shouldn't be doing that. But in reality, like, you can't control what someone does or doesn't do. You have to understand that it's your own shit that you need to deal with and never the other person's problem.
And do you know what I was just thinking real quick? And some people might shoot me in the head and say, well, what are you talking about? Also the expression of you can't love someone until you love yourself. I know a lot of people will disagree with that. This whole conversation about jealousy and insecurities and whatever, being so insecure that you have such the negative trait of jealousy is the exact reason why you shouldn't get into a relationship before you are ready. It doesn't mean to say that you have to have no insecurities then get in a relationship.
You have to have the level of awareness to understand where these insecurities are coming from and know that they're your insecurities. not your partner's fault for doing something.
I think that's how that whole concept is how it transforms to the expression of you can't love someone until you love yourself. Because insecurity creates jealousy. Jealousy creates arguments.
Yeah. And then you'll start looking for validation of why you've got this jealousy being triggered inside you, and it will just create more arguments. And then the relationship will be built around you looking for validation and reassurance from your partner when they shouldn't have to give you that. You should give that yourself.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't mean to like. What we're saying doesn't disregard, that you should.
We have insecurities.
That you should deal with this on your own. You can't ever put anything on your partner or whatever. You can definitely talk and discuss.
Yeah, well, we constantly say, this might make me feel this way, or
but it's being able to
communicate
act rationally as well.
Yeah,
you need to take a moment for yourself and your relationship. But more importantly for yourself before you fly off at the deep end, because as soon as you do that, the damage is done.
Can I discuss about the other page that we set up? I won't say what it actually is or anything. So we got to a point where, now this might sound really egotistical, but unless you are being challenged, you will never really know whether you've healed, for want of a better term, or grown as a person. So remember the conversation we had a few weeks ago, and I said I don't feel like in my life I'm being challenged anymore, and like my insecurities and stuff aren't really being brought to the surface because nothing is bringing them to the surface. And I felt like I needed something in my life, which sounds a bit backwards. Yeah, but I felt like I wanted you to do something that previously would have brought up some negative emotions in me, because unless you're in a situation where potentially these emotions could have been triggered again, you'll never know whether you have actually healed and grown as a person. So we set up another page, which originally probably 2 or 3 years ago would have triggered the fuck out of me. Like, I would have felt so insecure about it. But actually, I know that I've grown because of the content that is on that page. I felt so happy and proud of you, and the compliments and stuff made me realise that it's not what we said in our first video about treating your partner like you would your best friend, and you should be rooting for your partner even if the thing that they are doing or want to do could potentially trigger some emotions in you that feel uncomfortable, because that's exactly what you would be doing for your best friend. It's just with your partner you're much more emotionally invested. Sometimes in our lives things are triggered in us that we need to learn from, but you'll put them on to other people and not actually give yourself the opportunity to learn. And I think that's where insecurities and jealousy are or can be potentially negative, because they're only being brought to the surface as an opportunity to learn from.
I think a lot of people don't. I think a lot of people fail to acknowledge the lesson. Yeah, they take it as a hardship, I'm a victim.
A personal attack.
This has happened to me. Yeah, I'm so rubbish. I'm not good enough. Blah, blah, blah. I think it takes a lot, and I think it takes quite a courageous person really to step back and think, actually, I'm not as awful as I think I am because of this situation.
Yeah.
This situation is not personal to me. It is whatever is going through the other person's mind.
Yeah. I think
it's definitely hard. I think you need to
be aware that it's you.
Yeah, and then you alongside acknowledging that you have the insecurity and that it's something you need to work on, you also need to commend yourself on the good qualities that you do have.
Yeah, and actually, understanding that the fact that this insecurity has been triggered is a positive, because it does give you the opportunity to look inside yourself and do the work necessary. Because if that hasn't been triggered, then you're never actually going to learn and grow anyway. So you've got to use it to your advantage. I think jealousy is so dictated by ownership that, like the conversation that we had the other day about, it was in regards to the parts of your partner that they share with you that you don't want anyone else to experience. It's like, say your partner has a job that she works with someone close to that you feel a little bit uncomfortable around the fact that they're spending time with that person. It's because you don't want your partner to share parts of themselves that only you get. And that's where it comes down to ownership. So I own that part. I don't want anyone else to experience that part because that part of you is mine. And that's never how it should be, because we are still our own person. And if anything, like I said previously, you should be rooting for your partner, for them to be happy and experience life to the full, even if parts of their life makes you feel slightly uncomfortable. That's where you get the chance to have the conversation with each other about, this made me feel slightly uncomfortable, but I understand it's not your problem, it's mine. Can you please help me work around this and get through it?
This is this actually, what you like just said makes me brings me back to how many months? Maybe like 2 months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. 2 months ago or so, I saw something I didn't like. Oh my gosh, I was enraged, I was furious.
Literally flipped your lid.
I did. I cried. I was sitting there crying and crying. We were drunk, so that wasn't helpful.
Yeah.
You know, emotions were running high. You just went to sleep. You're like,
Yeah.
right.
Never try and express your emotions under the influence of alcohol.
No, definitely not. And even though everything I'm saying right now, even with that said, in that situation a couple of months ago when I had to acknowledge something that I really didn't like, something that, because before this happened I thought, oh, I'm really solid, I love myself, I'm so wonderful, and I didn't feel that insecure obviously until this came about and challenged me per se. It took it had taken me a good 3 days, I think, to step out of my emotional perspective to actually be rational. And I think even if you need to step away from the person or the situation for a day or two or whatever, I think that that's perfectly okay as well, because that's what I hate to do.
That's so true, because when an emotion is triggered inside you, it is really uncomfortable, and everything we're saying now doesn't mean that we're telling you to just get over it.
No.
It's not something that you can feel and then think, oh fuck it, everything's fine, and within 30 seconds it's gone. You take however long you need to take.
Yeah.
Whether that means having 3 or 4 days out, away from the conversation that you should potentially have with your partner, to just process it in your own mind, to then revisit it with your partner and discuss the reasons why it made you feel that way, and then you can find some common ground and get through it. It's when you just have like an emotional verbal diarrhea and just be like, there you go, you deal with that, this is all my shit, have it. That's when you're both going to be defensive. It's going to cause an argument without doubt, and isn't going to give you both the opportunity to learn, grow and become closer from it. I think sometimes you just need to take some time out and just understand that.
Yeah, because, you know, as hard as that may be, then after I'd taken some time out and I just, you know, had to go home and just spend some time on my own or whatever, when we then came back together to talk about it, I think we walked across the meadows actually.
Yeah.
It was just so different. Like I kind of felt I felt actually quite empowered to be able to
speak about it.
Yeah, and to be able just to do that for myself.
Yeah.
from 3 days previous, hysterically crying and wanting to cave your head in. I mean, I never would have done that, but yeah, I think that was a very, very good lesson for me, 100%. But I think it was also quite good for us.
Yeah. I don't mean this patronising, but I do think you've grown a lot since then, even in the space of a couple of months. Like, you are a different person, and actually, this is something that I think people fail to realise is the person that you were a month ago or a week ago or even yesterday doesn't have to be the person that you are today, tomorrow or next year. Life is about experiencing things and learning about ourselves, and nothing is ever as bad as it seems once you actually take the time out to process it. I mean, this is a topic that we could speak about for hours on end. I know, like, we're so passionate about this, only because I mean, we're so passionate about this because we can relate so much to it. Everyone can relate to jealousy. It's a human trait that we all experience at certain times in our lives, but it's learning how to be in control of your jealousy and not allowing your jealousy to control you.
And I think the progression with dealing with your own jealousy, when looking back at your past relationships and stuff, I think it's actually quite satisfactory.
It is.
I don't know what the word is, really, but when I look back at like, I was like, oh my gosh, wow.
Yeah.
I actually love it.
I actually feel like now, the point I'm at in my life now, if I think too far back and too hard into some of the things that have triggered jealousy inside me and the way I've reacted, I actually feel quite guilty for reacting the way I did. I never should have reacted like that. It wasn't their issue, it was mine. But that's all part of growth. Anyway, I think we'll leave it there because we have been speaking for a while.
I think we've been like 17 minutes.
Yeah. And actually, you're going on holiday today for 2 weeks, which we haven't been away for more than a couple of days.
Yeah.
So actually, this is going to be quite hard for me.
4 days.
Yeah. I think I might struggle a bit. But yeah, we'll leave it there. And please give our video a like and a comment, and just ask any questions in regards to.
There was a thing. Should we give a comment on that?
Oh, actually, yes.
Before we just
run
away?
So David said, I find the fear of losing someone sparks off my jealousy, and that is where jealousy is rooted from.
And you're only scared to lose someone because I think that
You don't feel like you're worthy of getting someone else.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
But I think even that said, if and this might come across quite harsh, but if you do ultimately lose someone that you didn't want to lose, it's horrible when it hurts and everything. But there's a reason.
Yeah, and ultimately, it's another opportunity to learn from.
Yeah.
It can be really hard to get to that point, and it can take a long time. But when you get to that point, like you just said, you feel so empowered, and that's what we're trying to inspire people to become, empowered, and just learn that these things that come up, everyone experiences them. You don't have to beat yourself up for feeling jealous or insecure. You just need to do the work on yourself. But anyway, we will leave it there this time. So I hope you all have an awesome day, and we'll speak to you soon.